video, we're going to talk about your adrenal glands and your gut and the significant role it can play in you overcoming your sugar addiction. So let's get to it. I'm going to break down the process and explain this in detail. And remember, this video is part 3 of a 6-part series that I've created on you overcoming your sugar addiction. So make sure you check that out. Let's start with the adrenal glands. So your adrenal glands are responsible for producing hormones, particularly cortisol, and that regulates your stress response. And your adrenal glands actually sit in your low back, right above your kidneys. So I like you to put your hands right there in that low back area, and they're about the size of walnuts. And these things not only allow you to have a more regulated stress response, but if they are off balance, you will crave sugar like a crazy person. So for us not to discuss the adrenal glands would be doing you a huge disservice, because we can do all the things that people tell us. We can cut out all the foods, we can eat perfectly, but if we are not facing the reality that our adrenal glands probably need some support, then we're not going to get anywhere. And let's face it, we've all dealt with chronic stress, and chronic stress can lead to what's called adrenal fatigue. Now, I believe all human beings have had some kind of adrenal fatigue at some point in time in their life. It's pretty common when we go through pretty stressful periods like a divorce or a big move or a really stressful work environment or some kind of relationship issue that might be going on, or childbirth, or even staying up all night nursing or feeding your child, with whether you're the mother or the father. These kinds of things can be very impactful to our stress and therefore put us into adrenal fatigue. And the more overworked those adrenal glands are, they're just like fighting for you. What they do is then they don't produce the adequate amounts of cortisol that your body needs. Essentially, our body doesn't know how to calm down that stress response like it used to. And what this does is it puts more of a toll on the body. And this toll creates an imbalance which increases our cravings for sugar, because we are looking for an energy source, and energy can come from sugar. It's like this quick fix, and so we will crave it. And again, we're not talking about the psychosomatic or the emotional aspects of that craving. All right, I want to talk about some ways to heal your adrenal glands. Now, before I do, I want to give you a quick disclaimer. Number one, I am not a doctor. I am not here to treat you specifically. I do work with clients privately as a practitioner, and I've also healed my adrenal glands on more than one occasion in my lifetime. So this comes from my own lived experience. Make sure you always consult with your own doctor or practitioner or healthcare provider before taking any of the advice that I am giving to you. The other thing that I want to share with you is that in my personal experience, it takes anywhere from a minimum of like 4-ish months, maybe 6 or 8 months, to up to a year or more to really revitalize and heal our adrenal glands. This is not a quick fix thing, because if you look at it, our stress response in our body wasn't usually a quick fix thing. Sometimes we can have an unfortunate occurrence like a car accident, and it definitely can put us into some kind of fatigue, but it is very likely that this has been an over period of time, a long period of time, that's caused a lot of stress to our body, and it's impacted not only our adrenal glands, but also our cortisol levels. So one of the best ways, and the first way I want to give you, is to start to do more mindful practices, such as moving your body. Physical activity is really important to help heal your adrenal glands, but I recommend not being too aggressive. For example, when I was working to heal my adrenal glands, I was thinking I would do, well, let me get back up. I had just had a baby, and prior to having that baby, I was somebody who did a lot of running, and I ran the marathons, half marathons, and I thought, oh, I'll just get back into running. But my adrenal glands were so tapped out that running was like the worst possible thing that I could have done for my body. I needed more things like weight training, more yoga and relaxation to my body, maybe like swimming, for example. You don't want to put extra stress on your body in a negative way while it's already stressed, and yet you still want to make sure you're really moving your body. Things like sauna or meditation could be very helpful. For some people, taking Epsom baths is allowing our body to sweat and just kind of move energy through our body. Deep breathing exercises are also very powerful for helping our body find a more regulated stress response. Now, this one goes without saying. I have so many videos on this topic, and I will link them below or within this video. But you really want to eat a balanced diet. You want to start avoiding, of course, the sugary stuff, the processed and packaged foods. You want to eat a whole foods diet, particularly an anti-inflammatory diet would be ideal, and really take care of your body. Because again, we're not just trying to get off sugar, we're actually looking to heal a very big functional aspect of our body, which is our adrenal glands. We're looking to teach our body how to handle stress in a healthy way. Now, the next one is adequate sleep. So if you have not been sleeping well, then it's partially because of your stress. So for a lot of people, it's emotional, mental stuff that keeps us up at night. Sometimes it's diet related, or it's related to what we're drinking throughout the course of the day, whether that be caffeine or alcoholic beverages. And then sometimes it's because we're in adrenal fatigue that our body's having a hard time actually sleeping. So this one's frustrating, and I understand that, and I just want to acknowledge you, because I know if you have not been sleeping and it's because your adrenals are suffering, you're like, you're telling me to sleep, but how? And so part of the process here is creating consistent routines around your sleep, and even getting in bed, even if you're not ready to fall asleep, but because it's the time to get in bed, so you can start to teach your body to relax and to let go at that particular time. There's all kinds of tools that we have these days of things that we can listen to. Now, the final one I want to give you is that you really could use supplementation here to make sure that this is a successful endeavor in healing your adrenal glands. And it's been my experience that you do need supplementation. Now, we just don't get the good nutrients and minerals that we used to from food. And it doesn't mean we don't get any, but we don't get what we used to. Our soil has become much more depleted. So magnesium is always recommended. And I am going to link some things below this that I recommend if you want to use those links. And, again, always consult with your practitioner or your doctor or healthcare provider before taking any of these supplements. Got to use that disclaimer. The other ones that are very popular are things like ashwagandha, rhodiola, or licorice root. I particularly am a big fan of licorice root tea, so that's good. And you can find supplements that have these in them. And then taking also just a good adrenal supplement in addition to these kinds of things, if you can find one that really also support you in getting enough really good, valuable protein. And I am just going to say it, I think a lot of people who have adrenal problems probably need more healthy, pastured, grass-fed red meat in their diet. This is not mutually exclusive because everyone's different, but I do see that not only in myself, but as a very big common factor for most people who I've helped heal their adrenal glands as a practitioner. They often are lacking in not only iron, but in, this isn't exactly exciting to say, but it's like we need sometimes to take supplements that have liver, heart, or kidney. And these kinds of things can also support our body as building blocks. Now, the final thing I want to share with you is to really focus on healing your gut simultaneously while healing your adrenal glands. Now, while you work on your adrenal glands, you also work on your gut. And by doing this, you are basically paving the way for a healthy system and reducing your cravings. One of the biggest reasons we crave sugar is because our gut's out of balance and our adrenal glands are in fatigue. And so when we can nip those in the bud, so to speak, and then we start to work on the emotional, psychosomatic, or mental pieces revolving around our cravings or our addictions or compulsions with wanting to eat so much sugar or different foods, then we're coming at it from all sides, and it can be very powerful. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this particular video on the steps to healing your gut. I am going to follow up more deeply on that topic in a video to come. But in the meantime, I really recommend you start with the first step, I have a free resource on this one. It's a webinar. It's called The Gut-Brain Connection, and it's linked right below. And it not only is it a really good webinar, but it also comes with a free document. It's a PDF that's pretty comprehensive about everything I talk about. And my team and I included 14 days of meal plan ideas, so it can kind of get you on a start of what you can be eating to support your gut, to support your adrenal glands, and to support your whole body in this endeavor of whole body health. In essence, we want to balance our gut bacteria and our flora. We want to reduce inflammation inside our gut, inside our body, because while we do that, it gives us the chance to allow our body to come back into some kind of homeostasis. And then it allows us to absorb the proper nutrients that we need. When we're getting enough nutrients that we need and we're getting really good energy from the foods that we're eating, then we won't need to be reaching outside of ourselves for energy from things that just don't serve us as much. The final thing I want to mention for now, and again, more to come in a future video on this topic, but when it comes to your gut and to healing your adrenal glands and to supporting you in reducing your cravings, you really want to avoid things like the artificial sweeteners at this time. Additives that get added to a lot of our drinks, our beverages, our foods, some of the bars that we eat. There's so many things that are hidden and they're labeled, and we don't know what those things actually mean, but they're really just kinds of artificial sweeteners that are really making our job so much harder. So we want to avoid those things and eat simply and eat cleanly. Now, like I said, I did create a 6-part series on this topic, very important topic of overcoming our sugar addiction. So make sure you check out all of those. Some are to come if you are watching this live. And make sure you check out video number 1 if you haven't seen that yet. I'll link that below because it gives you the comprehensive idea of how to begin your sugar detox. The second video really talks more about my own personal story, and whatever you want to learn from that. A lot of times people find that helpful. And then we're going to get even more into the next 3 videos on really healing your gut and the emotional and psychosomatic effects and how to turn those around in our thinking, which is extremely powerful. And then we'll wrap up with video number 6. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave a comment below and stay connected. You are not alone during this process of overcoming your sugar addictions and compulsions or cravings. And please like this video. It helps me in the algorithm. And if you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe and make sure you hit that little notification bell so you can be the first to hear when our new videos come out. I look forward to seeing you next time.